On today's Daily Strike, the Lightning's exit interviews are done as they turn their focus to the offseason. This is the latest news and notes on the Tampa Bay Lightning for Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. I'm Steve Versnick. Today's Daily Strike will be a little longer than usual as we wrap up the season. Lots of players spoke to the media today, as did General Manager Julien Brisebois when he discussed the season.
I think in our business, it's important for us to be ambitious with our goals, but also realistic with our expectations. We are striving and trying to win the Stanley Cup every year here, and I foresee that being the case for many years to come. But the reality is that even with having a great hockey team, even with having a legitimate Stanley Cup contending team year in, year out, most seasons will end in disappointment.
He went on to list the injuries that the players were dealing with during this playoffs. Nikita Kucherov had a left-hand extensor injury. That happened back on February 25th he was still dealing with. Oliver Bjorkstrand had acute compartment syndrome from April 11th. Luke Glendening had a right shoulder AC joint separation back on April 9th. Anthony Cirelli suffered a grade 2 MCL sprain in his knee on Game 1. Yanni Gourde broke a finger in Game 1 of the series against the Panthers. Brendan Hagel, of course, had that concussion in Game 4. Victor Hedman fractured his foot in Game 4 as well. Nick Paul had a left wrist tear, and Eric Chernak was hurt in Game 1 as well. Nikita Kucherov discussed playing through his February injury.
I didn't want to miss any games, so I just kind of, the trainers did a hell of a job, keep me in the games and, go through, some hard time. And it is what it is, guys playing with, a bunch of bruises and, something else. But I just wanted to play hockey and enjoy the moment and be with the guys. And it's always sucks to watch game from outside.
Victor Hedman on recovering from his broken foot.
It'll be a few weeks before, but my upper body is fresh and healthy, so I can start there, and then as the foot gets better, I can get going in that regard. So try and hurry up the process as much as possible. They say Viking blood is usually heals faster, so hopefully that's the case with this one.
Brendan Hagel on the illegal hit he took from Aaron Ekblad in Game 4.
Listen, I think hockey's the best sport in the entire world, and I think the way it's played and the honesty and the respect for a lot of the players, it's as competitive as it gets on the ice. But at the end of the day, it's like you have respect and you have those unwritten rules, and it's when you say they said anything to me, they didn't say a single word for me, and a little bit of that is like, I don't know, just any 20 of you guys, I could care less. I'm a pretty honest player. I would have answered the bell. Like, I would have, if you would have said, let's fight, I don't care if I would have got my ass kicked. I have to respond to a situation that I understood was the case. It's one of their top players. Did I mean to do it that egregiously with him not touching the puck? In my opinion, if he touches the puck, I think it's as clean of a hit as it gets. That wasn't the case, and that's not how I saw it going into the hit. But that doesn't matter, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know. That's the worst part. But if you're gonna go for someone's head, you have some things coming for you.
Jake Gensel discussed his first season playing with Nikita Kucherov.
And the plays he makes and the CC stuff, it was unbelievable for me just to be able to have the communication with him. And he helped me in a lot of ways this year that I never thought of. So hopefully many more years to come, and just the times that he can help make me better.
Andre Vasilevsky discussed the recent playoff woes at home.
Again, if we played the way we played in the regular season, I thought, I thought we executed well, attention to details. It was all there. But for some reason, just in the playoffs, it's all went down. When you go out there and you start the series at home with 6 goals against. So it's, I don't know, what's our home playoff record last 10 games? I think we won just 1 or 2 games. One. So it's just feel bad for the fans. They deserve much better than this.
Anthony Cirelli was named a finalist for the Selke Trophy. That award is voted on by the hockey writers and awarded to the forward who best excels in the defensive aspects of the game. The other finalists are Alexander Barkov and Sam Reinhart, both from the Panthers. Cirelli is the first Lightning player ever to be named a finalist for this award. He talked about elevating his game this season.
Yeah, I mean, just obviously finding that chemistry with Heggs, I think, was huge. Played with him for a couple of years now, so I think just keep building each year. I think just maybe coming in early too, beginning of the year, working with Kuch a little bit. Just trying to work on my game, on just if it's working on my shot or doing a lot of video and stuff with some of the coaches of trying to be in better spots in the offensive zone, making better reads. But then I just tried to play my game, try and be good defensively and chip in offensively when I can.
Braden Point is a finalist for the Lady Byng Award. That goes to the player adjudged to have exhibited the best type of sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct combined with a high standard of playing ability. The other finalists are Jack Eichel and Anze Kopitar. If he wins the award, Point would join Marty St. Louis and Brad Richards as winners from Tampa Bay. Point talked about the mentality they need to have next season.
You're going to have to play a certain way if you're going to want to win in playoffs. And, I mean, it's tough to do for 82 games, obviously. You're not going to be able to play that way every night. But I think going into next year, our focus really should be just right from the get-go, trying to establish an identity that this is how you're going to have to win in playoffs. And I think, if anything, that's going to help us.
So the Lightning players will now look to the offseason, get some rest, except for Nikita Kucherov, who said he'd be back on the ice next week and invited his teammates to join him if they'd like. The NHL draft will happen in late June, as will the NHL awards, which many Lightning players are nominated for. And then free agency will start on July 1st. If any breaking news happens between now and then on the Daily Strike, we will keep you updated.
This day in Lightning history.
It was on this date in 2016.
Callahan will turn for Boyle. Maybe a 2-on-1 across the blonde Boyle. Right circle. Drops it high side Callahan. Left circle Hedman. Shoots. Block. Rebound Boyle. Shoots. Score! Score! Brian Boyle! Brian Boyle! The Lightning win it! 5-4 in overtime! They lead this series 2-1!
The Lightning would go on to beat the Islanders in 5 games to advance to the Eastern Conference Final. They would then lose that series to the Penguins in 7 games. Happy birthday to Lightning assistant coach Jeff Halperin. He played 126 games for the Bolts from 2007 to 2010. He scored 26 goals and had 51 points. Orlando Solar Bears lost Game 1 of their second-round playoff series to the Florida Everblades 5-3. Game 2 will be tonight in Estero. Game 3 will be Tuesday night in Orlando. Thank you so much for listening to the Daily Strike all season long. We truly do appreciate it. This is the 226th episode this season. If you have any feedback, feel free to let us know. You can do that on social media at Bolts Radio, or you can email radio@tampabaylightning.com. We really appreciate it. Once again, this is the last Daily Strike for this season. If any breaking news happens during the offseason, we will bring you a Daily Strike to keep you informed. Once again, I'm Steve Versnick, where every day is hockey day.